Fellow St. Lucians, this is the third segment of our program, and we are right back. When we ended, we were just getting Ariane's views on the opening up of Cuba, because I recently read some disturbing information of what they intend to. Actually, only this morning, watching CNN, America's already put a charge d'affaires in charge, and a number of issues are being discussed. The cruise ships are just eyeing it. The Americans who are dying to get back home. So although we in the Caribbean supported the reopening of Cuba, and I supported myself because I think the 50-year embargo was a total failure, and I said many years ago, had the embargo been taken off, capitalism would have gone to work on my good friend Mr. Fidel Castro a long time ago, and that would have been an eye-opener. But that's history now. We have to look at what's happening today. But just for a brief discussion, Ariane, on what you know about Cuba, its proximity to the United States, the sites they have there, the 8 million people in Cuba. What do you think?
The interesting point, I've never been to Cuba.
Okay.
I've been at different islands,
right.
Never to Cuba. I don't know, it didn't happen yet.
Yeah.
I will say maybe it's a generational note, but stop seeing others as enemies.
Yeah.
Like stop seeing other islands, for tourism I mean,
yes,
as enemies.
Yeah.
Because you have so much to offer,
yeah.
and the next generation like mine want to discover the world. So they don't want to go always at the same place. For now, that's what you're saying, because the baby boomers
yeah.
need security, and they like low fare and low cost hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
And Cuba and Dominican Republic was offering for like $600, $800.
Cuba is 90 miles from the point to point from the U.S., you know?
U.S. and Canada, it's really close.
Yeah, pretty
so
good. And they
people
are
like to
going
go
there already, because I've been to Cuba 4 or 5 times, and I've met a lot of Canadians there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people Americans who wanted to go to Cuba, had to go to Cuba either through Canada or through Jamaica, because you weren't allowed to fly directly. Okay, now Ariane, you know, we have discussed a lot about the hotel industry, and you discussed with me the possibilities of some other industries, like day camps, which I thought quite exciting. I'd like to elaborate on that.
To link with all what we discussed before,
Yeah.
it starts with education.
Yeah.
The young one need to be self-confident and they need to develop their self-esteem. I worked on a project in Canada, and it's still going on now. It's some day camp that can also be implemented after school as well. It's a creative concept. It's a symbolic concept that I call, in French, it's confutté, which is smart camp. Let's say this like that.
Yeah.
And I developed a language of symbolics. So it's communication tools, finally, that we teach the kids. So for example, the jewel is how to let yourself shine. The jewel has how to be proud of yourself. So for example, in the camp, what we do with the kids, it's a 1-week program, and it can be repeated weeks after weeks. And we give a bracelet with some jewel on it, and we give them at the end of the week during a show that they organize, and to tell them that they have the right to shine. They have some strengths and talents, and each of them are different. And we want to offer this as a symbol so that they can keep the bracelet. And after all, if they feel stressed or feel insecure, they have the bracelet and remind themselves to shine.
Right.
So this is the jewel. For example, the bamboo stick is a bamboo stick to support a plant, to grow. So to grow as a person, into an organization, into like through friends, to be well surrounded. And being well surrounded, what it means, it's to help yourself, to have friends and network, because we can see what network does when we know people and other strengths. So the bamboo stick is also related to the multicultural impact of whoever you meet. And the fireworks, it's how to celebrate yourself, how to celebrate the beginning of the day. So we do a dance every morning, and we invite the parents who can do it with them. The final, at the end of the day, we have different objects like that. At the end of the day, it's the hourglass. So we're taking a moment to breathe in, breathe out with the kids. And the kids love it. Kids from 5 to 12 years old. And it can be adapted at different ways.
Question for you, Ariane. Normally, you have maybe about a total of maybe 3 months vacation a year total from schools. Schools knock off between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. And so I would say, especially today, a lot of parents are working parents. So there are two sectors of people in St. Lucia. And that is that you have the people who are a little more affluent, who would be willing to have their children go to special classes. But while you raise that subject, something has come to mind which has been a big point of contention in St. Lucia, in that hundreds of children from the public schools are floating around the city in drones, and they're all migrating to these little gambling machines and play. And the government is very concerned about it, and they have come up asking people for some ideas. As a matter of fact, on one of my shows some 6 weeks ago, I suggested that because they now don't have the means to go into, say, a private camp. But what I suggested was that we do football, we do basketball, we do netball, and I, about a few years ago, bought about, I think, 100 chess games into St. Lucia. And I told or recommended to the Ministry of Education via my media that what they should do, they should get volunteers to go to the schools directly after school and, get somebody good, say, at netball, and let them practice, and every week you give a prize so the children can stay there, and it gives the parents an opportunity to know that their children are being taken care of. And this is the point you're trying to make. But I heard what you said about the day camps, but I'm going to ask you one question. Now, that there are people who can afford to do that. What about those who cannot? What suggestion can you make?
Related to that, so from what I hear here, for St. Lucia, that will be maybe the option of doing these type of day camp after school.
After school.
And why not to get a government who is like who has to take their responsibility of taking care of the future. The future is the kids.
Correct.
And to take care and to support these type of projects coming from outside. But at the same time, I'm really thinking of moving down to the Caribbean from Canada and to be here, not just bringing ideas and let people do it. I'm the type of person, I'm an entrepreneur, and I really care about whatever I say, I do. The walk the talk, right? And I will truly, if there is anybody interested into investing in these type of organization, this type of concept that we can implement here, and we can come and train the people here. So we're going to hire locals as well, but definitely it's a question of money as well. So we need to have money in.
Can I ask you a question? If you did that in St. Lucia, what would you require to do it? Do you require a building? Do you require land? How you see it being done?
Concretely, we don't need much. We need a space, of course, to get the kids. So ideally, a land or somewhere that we can play with the kids. As you have beautiful weather, we can be outside. And at the same time,
would you also want an area indoors to complement it, or just the outdoors?
If it's possible, yes. But I did it in an outdoor place. So if it's possible, we can do it inside and outside, ideally. But I will say we better put the money into the materials, the bracelet I was talking about, the little book note, all the things we give to the kids, the clown nose, and all the materials that you need that we can bring in. And as many kids we have, as less it's going to cost. Because per unit, per person, is going to, per kid, it's going to reduce the price.
What would be nice that, I know you have no more than 2 days in St. Lucia now.
But I should come back.
Yeah, come back, or if it's possible, sometime before you leave, you can meet for half an hour with the Ministry of Education and the person in charge of that and pass that information. It may be very helpful. And
to work with community as well, because some people in the community are probably already involved into taking care of kids. So we can put these guys together. So we're going to see this show soon. So maybe if they want to contact you through your email, they maybe want to call you or contact you so to have access to talk before I leave.
Now, the next question, what's the other subject you would like to touch on? We have touched on the day camps, and you had some other suggestions. What were they that you want to
It's about repetition and communication again. I will never say it enough. We need to communicate. We need to keep the kids busy.
Yes.
Because if not, you need to stimulate them. More than ever in life, you see the young one, they need to be stimulated.
Yeah.
We need to stimulate their self-confidence. We need to stimulate how to think outside the box, how to, to do things and dare to do things new,
now,
to learn and be proud of yourself.
Yeah, question for you. I'm sure in Canada you've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
now,
we see the results.
What age children they have been focusing on? What are the age of the children they have focused on?
For my concept?
From what you've seen in Canada and what you feel in Canada.
I mean,
let us deal with what you saw in Canada. What goes on?
In Canada, what goes on, we take the kids very young and we stimulate them at school, but it's in some specialized service. Some of my clients now, which we work before and after school. And my dream will be that we implement this in school.
Where do you work with them? At the schools?
We also work at the school, and we work in some sports place, some sports area or outdoor area, nature outdoor area, to connect with nature as well. So my concept doesn't take that much space.
Yeah.
It's more about thinking how we're going to do it better.
What age children have you noticed they tend to work with?
Respond the best?
Yeah.
I mean,
ages, from what ages?
I will say it's really critical between 5 to 8 years old. Very important to stimulate them from 5 to 8 because they're big enough to most of the read and understand and learn and like sponge.
Grasp things, yeah.
And take stuff so easy.
Now tell me something. I know many places in the world have summer camps.
Yeah.
Now you have that in Canada too.
Yeah.
Now what ages are those people who go to summer camps? The children again.
There is different type of summer camps,
yes.
And the thing I'm thinking about now is that don't forget that it's creating jobs as well for the young one, because animators are 16 to 22, taking care of younger one.
Right.
So that's the beauty of day camp or after school concept and stuff like that. And we need to continue to project like university projects and school when they're getting older. We need to pursue these messages, these principles that are not they're not taught at school now. Back in Canada, we don't learn about daring and communication and how to listen and to commit. Commitment today is a huge thing. Don't tell me that you're going to be there at 10 and you're not, because then I will feel that either I'm not important for you, either maybe it's not important for you what we're working on. So all the things about commitment that you should be teach to the kid very young, all these principles, basic principles.
Now, for instance, in St. Lucia, there's a place called the International School here, which has 6 or 7 teachers from Canada. They offer a very good education. They're about approximately 100 kids, and they have a play area, approximately 12 to 13,000 square feet, which is quite large. And I noticed they use it for adult football, but to me it's underutilized. How the children are from age 5 to 17.
Okay.
It's
a private school.
It's a private school. When we come back on the final segment of our program, I would like to give it some thought as to just so many St. Lucians listening to this program today would understand what they can do from your experience in Canada. Fellow St. Lucians, this is Openmike. We just ended the 3rd segment of our program. We'll be right back.